Corporate greed sucks. Dear corporate America, CEOs, FOs, COOs, and the like. Your net worths are over $100 million. Your corporations are worth billions with a B, that's 9 zeros behind it, billions of dollars. Your net worth of your individual CEOs, CFOs, COOs, chairman of the boards, etc., are net worth of over $100 million or whatever. You can afford payroll. You can afford overtime. You can afford full time. Quit cutting people's hours and cut your own salaries. Cut your salaries. Quit cutting people's hours. Quit cutting people's salaries and quit that. Dear politicians, make them do right. Create a full-time only act and create a minimum amount of employees act of how many employees have to be in the store at a time, and create a employees get to decide how many hours they worked act, all rolled into one. Create that and we'll have this problem fixed. Get to work, politicians. Make corporations do right. Corporate greed is a bunch of bullarchy. Multi-billion-dollar corporations, and they can't afford overtime. Multi-billion-dollar corporations, they can't afford to hire everybody full-time. CEOs, CFOs, COOs, etc. have net worths of $100+ million. Corporations worth billions of dollars, but for some reason they can't afford to hire everybody full time. But for some reason they can't afford to give a bigger payroll. But if it was came time to remodeling a store, they can afford that. When it comes time to open up and invest and create another building, they can afford that. When it comes time to do other various different things, they can afford that, but they can't afford to hire workers and have workers only work full time, and they can't afford overtime because they won't give them a payroll. They won't give them big enough payrolls. Corporate America, give bigger payrolls. Y'all can afford it. Y'all are multi-billion-dollar corporations. Billions of dollars. Cut your salaries. Y'all have net worths of over $100 million. There's no rhyme or reason for anybody to be worth that much money. It just does not need to exist. My gosh. This is the stuff that causes people to quit. Not being allowed to make money causes people to quit. If you want people to work, you have to give them the incentives to actually work. You have to not only give them the incentive to work, but you have to give them the tools they need to work. Part of those tools that they need to work is one incentivize working. And the other tool they need to work is overtime. They need time. Time is one of the tools. Start treating your employees and your people, which are your number one assets, better. Quit thinking that money is the only bottom line. Freaking May or it's supposed to be Mental Health Awareness Month. Well, the best thing for mental health is money. When people are working, they're happy. When they're making a lot of money, they're happy. They're not going to be having so much mental health problems. So if you want to fight mental health, you got to let people work. People who aren't working and don't work and aren't actually making money get depressed. I get depressed when I'm not allowed to work. When I don't have steady income coming in, I'm kind of depressed. Don't they understand that? Make us rich. The employees need to be rich too. It's only fair that everybody's rich. My gosh, it's not like I ride the clock or anything. I actually do my job, I actually work. And how can you afford 2 employees? Okay, this is what I don't understand. This makes no logical sense at all that you're going to hire two. Just a side note, they're supposed to be hiring 2 people. All right. If they pay him $11 or $12 an hour, say they pay him $12 an hour, that's $22. That's you're spending $22 on 2 people. Okay, one overtime hour of mine is still cheaper than that, than 2 people. So why are you hiring 2 people when you could just hire me overtime? You'd save money by having me work overtime than you would by hiring 2 more people. Think about it. I thought you companies wanted to save money. If you want to save money, you should hire and let the person work who actually wants to work and does work and works his butt off. You should hire him and let him make as many hours as he wants because he's worth more than 2, 3. That one individual is worth like 3 people. So you might as well let one good worker work and make money instead of having 2 or 3 terrible workers that don't do anything and get anything accomplished. Makes more sense to me. And stop seeing things from a corporate, collective system and start seeing it from the individual's point of view, from your individual worker's point of view. See things from our perspective, not yours, ours, from the individual person's perspective. Cutting payroll is what causes people to cut working there. That's what causes people to quit. Not giving people full-time jobs with the benefits that they need included is what causes people not to want to work. Being short-staffed and adding more and more responsibilities on the employees you do have also wears them out and stresses them out and makes them want to quit. These are the things that cause people to quit. The solution is full-time only, and employees get to pick their schedules. Let us choose the schedules. Let us make as much money as we want. And let us, individuals, employees, have full-time benefits. It's not that complicated. Nobody wants to go into work for 4 hours. Who can afford that? The gas, the gas, and you got to have insurance on your car, and then maintenance on cars, and then most people are trying to buy a car, so the car notes. I mean, seriously, nobody can live by themselves. No one can. The American dream is to own a home, but you can't own a home if you can't. If jobs won't be giving you the money to make so that you could like work and save, and then in like 5 years be able to put down cash on a home. I want to be a team player, but you're not making me the coach of the team, so I can't play your games. Having too many rules, that's another thing with all these corporations, with all their damn rules. Way too many fucking rules. Rules. Oh my gosh, rules. Stop having so many rules. That's another thing that causes people to quit. All these damn rules. Stop having rules! So many damn rules. A lot of them are stupid anyway, and a lot of the rules are stupid. A lot of the rules are illogical. A lot of the rules are don't make sense. A lot of rules are inefficient, etc., etc., etc. So many rules. Less rules equals more freedom. It's that simple. And this is why I can't deal with. This is why I don't understand why you libertarians. Libertarians are all against government tyranny, but they're all pro for corporate tyranny. Corporations that don't hire full time, don't pay good wages, and don't let people make overtime, and have all these damn rules. That's tyranny. Libertarians, you should be anti-corporations too, because they're being they're being tyrannical against their employees. And you can't find another job because every single corporation is exactly the same. If you do find another job, you can find another job, but then you're going to be dealing with the same bullshit. Oh, we don't want to hire full time. Oh, you can't make overtime. Oh, we got payroll. Multi-billion-dollar corporations, you can afford it. Oh, multi-billion-dollar corporations. CEOs making hundreds of millions of dollars can afford it. Net worth of over $100 million, and you're telling me you can't afford it. Corporation worth almost $100 billion, and you telling me you can't afford it. Jeez. You can afford it. You don't need to be making that much money. There's no reason to make that much money. If you're going to make that much money, you need to trickle it down to us, the employees. Trickle it down. Trickle the money down. That's not what's happening. Y'all are keeping it, and you're not trickling it down. You're not investing it in the individuals, in the employees. Trickle that money down. That's how capitalism's supposed to work. Capitalism is supposed to work where the rich trickle their money down so that everybody's rich. But what we have is corporate greed and corporations that have government subsidizing. They have rich CEOs that want to do whatever they can to keep making themselves more money and more profits, but making and exploiting their employees and being tyrannical, which is wrong. And then you libertarians should be anti that. And that's why I can't always get with you constitutionalists either. Because you constitutionalists, you say the Constitution should only apply to the government. Wrong! The Constitution should apply to everybody in the United States. The Bill of Rights is the rights of the individual in the United States, and those rights should be protected regardless of where they are in the United States of America. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and as the supreme law of the land, it should apply on every square inch of soil of United States of America soil. Period. Point blank. There should. Period. Individuals should not be able to trump your rights. Corporations should not be able to trump your rights. Government should not be able to trump your rights. No one should be able to trump your rights. Your rights should apply anywhere and everywhere without any repercussions against said rights. If you have freedom of speech, you should have freedom of speech at work. If you have freedom of religion, you should have freedom of religion at work. You should have freedom of religion in public. You should have freedom of speech in public. You should have right to bear arms everywhere. Because if you don't have the right, okay, you should have peaceful assembly everywhere. If you were restricted your rights anywhere, you don't actually have the right. Think about it. If you are not allowed to do it anywhere and everywhere on United States soil, you do not truly have the right. A right is not, if you have to register and ask permission to have a right, you don't truly have a right. If you have to register and ask permission to have a right, you don't truly have a right. If you have to pay money to have the right to do something, you don't truly have a right. You're only renting that right. You don't truly own property or anything if you have to pay for a license to use it. If you have to pay a tax, a rent every year to operate it, to operate on it. You don't truly own it if you have to license it. You don't truly own it if you have to pay tax rent. It's not a right if there's regulations on it, and it's not owned if you have to rent it. It's not a right, and it's not property, true ownership if there's rent and regulations. Rights are supposed to be unrestricted, non regulated, absolute rights that no person, government, corporation, or individual, other citizen can take you away from you or restrict you or regulate you from those rights as long as you are a law abiding citizen. That's another thing. We got too many laws. Way too many laws. We should just stick to the supreme laws of the land and we'd be fine. Matter of fact, Congress, one of the things Congress is supposed to do is promote the general welfare. That means they're supposed to do things that would benefit the individuals and the citizens above and beyond anything else. Politicians are now bought by rich, powerful elites and corporations, so they cater to corporations. They're supposed to cater to individuals. Supposed to cater to us individuals, us citizens. And they're supposed to be strictly adhering to the laws of the Constitution of the United States. That's the oath of office they take, and they don't obey it. So if they really cared about their oath of office and they really wanted to promote the general welfare, they would pass these laws. They would legislate these corporations to have, say, an employee per hour or an employee per section that just stayed in that section and assisted customers. They would promote an idea of a no cash register left alone act or something of that nature. They would promote ideas of full time only. They would promote ideas of letting the individual create their own schedule. They would promote ideas of overtime being optional